man from the heart of Biafra land, right there in Ibeku, straight away, right there to a place called Abia State, rose up, called Mazi Namundi Onyobioma Kano. Rose up and said, no, I cannot take this. I want my people to actualize the shortest lived republic called Biafra. What happened to their currency? What happened to their technology? What happened to their armies? What happened to their people? What happened to their culture? What happened to all of the things that they were known with? And they asked questions, and these questions was not answered. And the young man took up his microphone and took up his telephones and took off his iPad and took off his table and took off his iPhone and took off the tablet and went on air and began to talk to his people, to orientate his people. And he said that freedom is the greatest achievement of every man. And he began to incite many things that has to do with marginalization. But I'm Major Prophet. I don't like to blame any tribe. I like to blame all these things to people who are in hem of affair, who did not sit down and agree on the right way for everybody and children yet unborn. And this man pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed, and the time came, he was somehow wanted to be completely silenced. But you know, the truth can never be silenced. You can only attack the truth, but you cannot silence the truth. Man sitting on the Kano stood up with the Biafra and began to, educate his people and begin to open the eye of his people and begin to tell them that this world we are is not the way we think it used to be. Because we think that the world is a place you come and you suffer. Whatever you want, you cannot get it. You struggle and struggle. Hunger will kill you. And at the end of it all, you buy it and you go. He said it's not like that. That he has tested many and have traveled abroad and have seen things that a child can actually be born and taken care of by the government. That there's no issue of somebody is a big man and this one is a small man. That all the capability of every individual is dependent on your strength and what you can do or what you cannot do. That is not dependent on how much was embezzled and how much was taken away and your father was not among the people who embezzled the money. That you can actually fulfill your dream if it's a working society where everybody is equal, a place where everybody can be regarded as a human being and not treated as if they are animals. And because of this, the powers that be said, how can somebody come up with this that we have silenced already? And they took him up, they locked him up. At the end of it all, they released him and they regretted. Why should we release him? Let's end his matter. They came up again, they tried to bind and they escaped. And at the end of it all, he surfaced again and they also went far away and bring him back to come and face and suffer what he did not know. But thanks be to Jehovah God who made the heaven and earth, who never fail nor disappoint, that understand what's called the meaning of the place called Biafra and what it all stands for. Thanks be to God that God did not disappoint his people and God is able to do all of the things he said he will do. And today God has given the capability and the matter is already in the court of law to be discussed and also to be tried. Another man all the way right there in Finland called this one was called a name called this is Simon Ekpa right there in Finland. He came up with his own ideology and did his own part regarding this same Biafra matter. At the end, the powers that be went there and took him up and silenced him, and believing that the chapter is closed. But the major prophet, as a prophet of God who sees it all and by the grace of God knows all the things that the Lord is revealing, has a message. And this very message is a very special message that everybody should be aware of it. And what is the message all about? The message is that you cannot silence an ideology. If you stop me from what I want to do, my children will do that. If you stop my children will do that. If you try to stop them, the one coming after them will do that. Because this was called a DNA. This was called the blood vessel. This was called the bloodline. You cannot erase the bloodline or you cannot change the DNA. And Lord said that the best way forward is for the country Nigeria to recognize recognize Biafra. To recognize Biafra. And also recognize their people. And discuss a way that they can manage each other and live together, because it's not only Biafra. I'm also hearing people talking about Odudua. I'm also hearing people talking about Ariwas. I'm also hearing the people that talk about, I say they are the Nigeria. If you like, you take Odudua. You like, you take Biafra. You take Ariwa. That they are the Nigeria. You leave the Nigeria for them. Let them be. If we all are going to still stay and be there together, let us live as human and live as brothers. Let us live as people who will always look eyeball to eyeball. Whatever I know I will do to you that will be painful to you, I shouldn't do it. Whatever I know that I will do that is evil, I cannot do it to myself. I should not do it to you. And I thought that all of these things are over, that we have integrated together to be living as what's called one Nigeria. I've never seen a country they call one, mention the country name. I've never heard one European nation. I've never heard one Germany. I've never heard one Italy. I've never heard one America. I've never heard one India. I've never heard one anything. That means something is hidden there. That's what's called a great injustice going up there and there, here and there, that needed to be attended to as regarding the tribe that is called the people of Biafra. If you like, you take my word as a prophet of God. If you like, you don't take it. But if this matter is not settled amicably, it will never ever quench them. The matter will never stop. Biafra must continue to prevail, and at the end of it all, we come back to live as a republic of its own. I'm giving you as a prophecy, and that is must. That's what the major prophet have seen it before. I've seen it at the prophesied here, and I've said it several times, and I've said it often and often, and I am not afraid to say this because I am a prophet. God will ask me and say, on the last day, did you saw it or you did not? Then I will tell God, I saw it. Why didn't you say it out? I will say, I didn't say it out because I'm ashamed, or because of this, or because of that. And the Bible says, whosoever is ashamed of me in this world, I will be ashamed of him in the years to come, when I will be in my Father's house. So the truth of the matter remains that we should tell ourselves the truth. Are we together or we are against each other? Are we one or we are scattered? And I begin to look at everywhere, and I begin to see that it is time that people struggle only for power. And I said, if it is only for power, let us continue to see whether the power will change. And I thought we have gotten it right when we entered the civilian rule in 1999. President Olusegun Obasanjo. We thought everything is going to be okay and perfect. And before we know it, what the dollar used to be, all of a sudden it went up. All of a sudden some certain things begin to happen and happen and happen. At the end of it all, I said this time around, it is going to inculcate the people of Bafra in fullness. Instead of that to happen, the power was moved to the north. And the man called Yaradua came in with a good heart, a man that is detribalized, a man that is ready to move the country forward, a man that is concerned about what is best for everybody. He left the price of petroleum where he found it and did not do otherwise, but came up with ideas on how to manage the country and take us to next level. And the powers that be say, no, this is not what we want for these people. It's better we take him out. And the Yaradua was taken out by all means. And we cried and said, we thought a man who is detribalized, and a man who understands the governance is right there. What are we going to do? We want to cry. We want to hold ourselves and shake ourselves. And we begin to cry, oh, to a point. They never told us the truth, whether the man is dead or the man is still alive. They hid everything from us. And we were here crying. We have a president, but the president is not on seat. We have a president, but the president is not available. We have a president, but the president is outside the country. We have a president, the president is on the sick bed. Little did we know that that will lead to bigger sick bed. Moved on from that, and all of a sudden, all that happened, and played out, and we went out from that place, and we moved straight away to what's called Good Luck Ebele, Jonathan, president. And we thought, oh yeah, this time around the things are going to be okay. Things look as if it's going to be okay, but all of a sudden things begin to coalesce. Things begin to go up, and things were like, oh, let's see. And all of a sudden there was a movement all over the place, a rioting here and there, a protest here and there, a people from here and there, a tribe from here and there. They began to all over stage protests everywhere. This man is not doing it well. He's not the right person that should be there. Let's bring a man who can fight corruption. Let's bring a man who can now war against indiscipline. Let's bring a man who knows it all. Let's bring a man who can do this. And ignorantly, and somehow, everybody rallied around and put hands together. And at the end, Jonathan was thrown away and thrashed out and moved out. And the man entered, and we all were clamoring and shouting, yes, time to stop corruption, time to war against indiscipline, time to make everywhere all right, time to see money. Little did we know that the dollar we were shouting and crying that is in 150 something is going to flew from there. All of a sudden, before we know it, dollar has climbed up. Before we know it, I've got to 400, from 400 to 500, 500 to 600, 700 and above. And it became a crisis. It became an issue. It became a big trouble. It became a big matter. And everywhere we're scrutinized. And everybody were frozen right there. And everybody were squeezed out. And water come out of our eye. Water come from everywhere. Iwele wunu iwele wanyo otani se boganyo change buhari ono iwele wunu iwele wanyo otani se boganyo change buhari ono iwele wunu iwele wanyo otani se boganyo change buhari possible. But little did we know that the perilous time shall come. Even though we cannot conclude, but we are still praying that God should change everything so that we can see the change that we are praying for. We are still praying, and we are still on the mountain, and we don't know where we're going to come down from the mountain, and we're not going to know what's going to be the outcome of everything. Major prophet is not bringing all this history for bringing sake, but major prophet, I'm bringing all this history because of what's called the people of Bafra, my fatherland, where I grew up and saw things and how things supposed to be. That by now we ought to begin to compete with all the world powers. We ought to now begin to now produce things that will shock the world. By now we ought to be the best in engineering, the best in mathematics, the best in technology, the best in everything that needed to be discovered on the face of the earth. By now we need to be what's called architectural design that is never seen anywhere in the world or universe at large. By now we ought to be people who have been able to see what's called the heaven and see what's called the earth. But all of these things we have fought against because a lot of people want what's called to make it one Nigeria with what's called insincere heart. Insincerity. Because when it is sincere heart, it will not be called one Nigeria. It will be called United Nigeria. But when there is what's called ulterior motive, you will be hearing one Nigeria. Are we truly one? We are one. But the happenings is what is called Maramananihu Bampitinazu. Ebere mebore mundi mado bampiti nazu ebere mebore mundi mado bampiti banti ebere mebore mundi mado bampiti nazu 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 ebere mebore mundi mado bampiti bampiti nazu ebere mebore mundi mado. Because this is what's called the meaning of Biafra, and a lot of youth of nowadays have looked up to their politicians. Politicians betray them. How do you describe that a state that is receiving about 30-something billion in a month cannot have what's called critical infrastructure? A state that is having what's called 50 billion and above in a month cannot have power or steady electricity. How do you say that a state that is having what's called several billions as a location to them cannot create employment for their citizens? And the people have seen all of these things, and people are troubled and worried, and everybody is looking for the Messiah that God is going to use to remedy the people, the black people, and especially the people, Biafra people, from this very menace. Because a wise man cannot condole injustice, cannot condole foolishness, cannot condone marking time, cannot condone shame, cannot condone frustration, cannot condone marking time without moving forward. Right now, we are still in the game. And there's a promise and there's a hope that there's going to be a change. But Major Prophet, I have not seen the change. I have to be honest. I have to be sincere. Major Prophet, I'm waiting for this change where we cannot see that youth are employed. If it got to a point that even me as a man of God can out of the altar move and start creating little employment, to get people employed and gainfully employed, to get something doing. Even as a man of God, that my duty is to only stay indoor and pray prayer, and now moving off my hook to do little things for people to get employed. Then what is the excuse that a politician is given to me? What's the excuse that the people on the hem of my hair are given to me? What's the excuse that the people who are on top and also privileged are given to me? The excuse to me is a crap. This was called a trash excuse. You can't give me such excuse. The only excuse that Major Prophet can take is when you tell Major Prophet of God that, oh, you have done your best, and the people refuse to do. Then Major Prophet can hear you. But nothing is done, and you want Major Prophet to hear you. Major Prophet will not hear. And so that is why I said, my own time, God will show us mercy. In our own time, God will make a way where there's no way. In our own time, we must be free from every bondage, from every shackle, from every oppression, from every manipulation. I need you, wherever you're watching me, to say this message. I will never be in bondage. I will never be bound. I am out of every bondage. I am out of every manipulation. I am out of every persecution of the enemy. For we have escaped. You have escaped. We all have escaped. Can you declare that on the comment section? As the Lord begin to bless you, the Lord begin to make a way for your family, the Lord begin to make you the head, you begin to declare it. I am the head. I have escaped. I am free. I've gotten my freedom. Our freedom is assured, for the Lord who is in heaven liveth. The Lord will never change. The Lord will never fail. He knows it all. I am in the hand of the Lord, and the will of God, and the will of God only will it be accomplished in my life. For God is God, and God is not a man. Let the will of God be done. We will never stop in prayers until we have seen the hand of the Lord prevail upon the face of the earth. For we are free, we are delivered, we are liberated, we are out of the hands of the wicked. We have escaped from every manipulation. For our God liveth forever. Our God is a God forever and ever. His help has come from above. His help has come from above. The help of the Lord has come for us. The strength of the Lord has carried us through. The grace of God is sufficient, for the will of God is accomplished. Evil will never rule the good things. Righteousness will exalt a nation, and whatever reproach is a reproach. I decree and I declare the righteousness of the Lord will see us through in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Let the glory of God, let the grace of God, let the love of God, let the power of God, let the presence of God, let the mighty hand of God prevail in your life and prevail in all our lives. That which God has destined for us, no man shall take it away, no power shall take it away. Because of this, I have seen what's called the pillars and the people who are called the brightest and the rising sun of the world, or with Africa, in West Africa.